Hi everyone, Daisy here again with another layout for 30 Days of Sketches, and this is also for everyday inspiration. So it was my turn to choose the photo, and I chose a photo of the beautiful sunflowers that we were growing outside of my craft room window. This one grew well over 10 feet tall. Like, it had to have been, I don't know, it was over the edge of our roof. It was so tall. And so I decided to use this sketch, and I'm kind of turning it on its side, and then instead of doing a half a circle, I am doing a sunflower. So I pencil drew out some sunflower petals, and I used a plate to trace like the circle or the center of the flower, and then I'm using my Shimmers paints, and so I'm very aptly using the one called Sunflower for the leaves, and it's this beautiful golden yellow color, and I absolutely love it. And I'm just using a brush and painting it on there. I did gesso this paper using some heavy white gesso by Art Basics. And now for the center of my flower, I'm using a Blings called Spice Cider, also a Shimmers product, and the handle of my paintbrush, and I am just dotting around, trying to make it look like kind of like sunflower seeds would. And I'm going to fill the whole center of my flower with these dots. And so I did speed this up like 8 times because it did take, I don't know, probably a half an hour to do this. Maybe not even that long, maybe like 25 minutes or so, but still, it took a long time. So I sped this up super fast so you didn't have to watch. But I'm using different paintbrushes because they have different like diameter handles, so they were giving me different size dots. You can see some of the dots kind of bled together in the first couple of rows that I did because I put them too close together, but that's totally fine. Like, I absolutely love the way this turns out. I'm so happy with this. But again, just going around, dipping the handle of my paintbrush into the paint. Of course, I dropped some there. Oh, sorry. I got a little frog in my throat or something. And there it is, dry. It took a long time to dry. So while it was drying, I did go around the sunflower using my, what are they called? They're the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, and I used the extra small and the medium one. The medium one I went around the outside of the petals, and the extra small one I added some like hash marks to the petals themselves to add kind of like a depth effect. And then I have 3 photos of the sunflower I was going to use, and I'm going to choose the 2 of them that aren't quite so zoomed in. When I ordered these photos from Free Prints, that last one there that I'm not cutting right now but is over on the right hand side, that one got zoomed in even more, which was a little disappointing. But that was actually my original, or the inspiration picture for today. So I was thinking I was going to use it, but so now in the sketch it has some strips of paper or some sort of strips going down the center of the layout, and so I pulled out a bunch of different trim, and I'm going to use some tulle and some crepe paper. And I'm just going to use my ATG to stick this down. Hot glue is probably the best way of doing it, but it's also the best way of burning your fingers. So I just use ATG and just be patient with it because it, you know, crinkles up and it is kind of frustrating to work with, but I mean, if you're patient with it, it will turn out fine. So I was thinking about adding this other trim. It's like a gold thread that has some gold sequins on it, but after I was going to add the photos, you're not going to end up seeing a lot of it, so I don't end up putting that on there. I'm trying not to cough again. Like, I have this little tickle. I don't know. Maybe I swallowed a bug. We have like this weird gnat problem happening right now. And when I have my studio lights on, they like swarm around my desk. So I probably like inhaled one or something. But yeah. Anyway, so these are two 4x6 photos, and because of all of the like dimension behind it, I decided to add a little piece of this like chipboard behind each of the photos to hold them so that they'll lay flat, because they wanted to kind of warp with the crepe paper. But I want them to lay more flat, so I just added that little reinforcement behind them. And then because of the little bits of dimension back there, I don't have to add any foam or anything, because it does hold it a little bit up. So then I was thinking about adding some layers of paper, but because that's how it is in the sketch, but I didn't want to do that because it covered up too much of that sunflower, and I didn't want to cover, I'm even sad about how much I do cover up of it. I kind of wanted to like frame it and hang it on my wall, so I might draw another one and do that same thing and like hang it in my room somewhere, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So now to represent that little cluster, which should actually be down on the bottom, but it doesn't work out the way my photos are going and everything, I put it up in the top, the cluster that's in the sketch, I mean. So I put it up in the top, and what I did is I like did the cutting and folding kind of technique, and then put a little bit of paper, it's a crepe paper, and I put that behind there. It's got like gold foiling on it. And then here I'm adding a couple of papers, and these are from the Pink Paisley Many Wishes, I think. Something like that, and many more, or something like that. So I cut out two little strips of this paper that matched what I was doing, and I'm just going to put them behind there. And of course my ATG ran out, so now liquid glue from here out. Woohoo! My ATG is probably my most frustrating tool in my craft room. I have been struggling with it because like I got a bad batch of the glue runner, and it keeps sticking to itself, and then I swear it runs out every 10 minutes. I mean, I know that's just being overly dramatic, but still, it feels like it. So and then to kind of put a ledge down for the photos to sit on, I put a little bit of lace, like scallop border. And I used, again, my Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive Glue to stick that down. This stuff is amazing, and it works super great on mixed media and gesso, because a lot of times your things won't stick to that. So, okay, so now I'm going to be getting pulling out a whole bunch of random embellishments here. So now's a good time to say, if you haven't already checked out everybody else who's playing along with Everyday Inspiration or the 30 Days of Sketches, I will have links down below for everybody who's participating. Don't forget to check out Christy's channel. She's doing the 30 Days of Sketches. She is not, her Everyday Inspiration isn't going up for a couple of days because she used it for a different sketch, but she will have something up for today for 30 Days of Sketches. So, and then Jen and Lisa and Dolly and Crystal, am I forgetting somebody? I don't think so. They all have layouts up as well. And I pulled out a bunch, like I said, a bunch of random embellishments, and some of these are pretty old. So these letters I'm going to spell Bloom out with, and I didn't have two O's, so I had to cut a Q down. And I am going to hide that little piece that's still there from the Q. But those are from Pink Paisley C'est La Vie, which is what, like 2015, something like that. And then I'm using these We Are Memory Keepers Passport Passion or something like that. These little wood grain alpha. And I'm just putting them on a little piece of packaging out of my garbage, because I didn't want to try to glue every single one of them down, like with the tulle and the lace and all that. It just seemed like it was going to be a huge hassle. So I put them down on the little piece first, and then I'll stick them down like as a big chunk, so they're like basically little word stickers. And then I'm going to work on, so my title's going to be Bloom Where You Are Planted. So I'm just going to adhere these down, and I do struggle with adhering everything down. Nothing really wants to stick to gesso or these layers that I'm using, so I do have to press on them. Fortunately, this glue dries super fast, so once you have a good stick, like, you don't have to worry about it coming back up, but getting that initial stick can be a little tricky. And then the rest of my title, I'm going to use some more pink paisley. I think it's from the Indigo and Ivy collection, gold letter stickers here. So I'm going to spell out planted. And these are a different color gold, so I do come back in a little bit and use some of that heavy gesso and just kind of paint over them to dull the kind of brassiness of this gold. And that's something that Missy Whidden does all the time, so I finally am using that because this was definitely just too much. I mean, it's fine because they're separated, but I could see it and it was bugging me a little bit. So, and getting these to stick down was even just torture. So now I'm going to pull out some of these gold phrase stickers they're from American Crafts, like the DIY shop, and I'm going to, oh, here you see me painting. I'm just using my finger, so I'm using one finger and putting the gesso on, and then I'm using another finger to kind of buff it off a little bit, because I didn't want like you to see the white, paint of it. I wanted you to still see the gold. I just didn't want it to be so glaring gold. So, and I'm going to use 3 phrase stickers. One's going to be Lovely, one's going to be Keeper, and one is going to be Love This, I think. And then I have these Cocoa Daisy exclusive die cuts or stickers, and there was this tag that has a sunflower on it, so perfect. So I'm going to layer that above and below, and then I'm going to add, there's a little sunflower like circle piece that I'm going to add up to my little embellishment area there. I'm going to pull out a few things from these. These are also Cocoa Daisy, but I don't end up using them. I put them on, but then I take them off because they just didn't work or make sense or anything. So I do take those off here in a little bit, but they sit there for a little bit. And I thought about using, I'm using some little gold hearts from a Maggie Holmes. Maybe, is it Maggie Holmes or is it just crepe paper? I don't remember, but it was a sticker pack about love. I think maybe it was just crepe paper. I pulled those stickers out from Vicki Boutin, but I don't use them. Here's some more C'est La Vie stickers, and I use a little piece of like washi tape. Oh, I had to go let the dogs out here. There's like this weird windstorm happening, and they wanted to go be outside and watch it. So then they just sat on the porch and just like stared out into the blackness because you can't see anything. Like, it's pitch black out. But yeah, they just had to sit there and watch just in case. So adding that in 3 places, and it's just like the perfect color yellow. And then I'm going to take those puppy stickers off and put them back. I'm going to go through this Amy Tangerine sticker thing. I don't think I actually end up using anything out of there. But then I'm going to pull out some Jimmy Dean sausage. Some chili bean. Like epoxy butterflies and like epoxy enamel dot things, and put them around, just using the yellow ones. And I kind of regretted putting the enamel dots down, but I glued them down as I was going, so couldn't take them back up. The butterflies are perfect. I just wish I hadn't used the big enamel dots, but it's fine. I'm sure nobody else will care, just me. And that's pretty much going to be my layout. So again, check out all of the links down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again next time. Bye!